Okay, where we last left off, we had got the Jeep stuck in the swamp, and we were sinking into the muck. And the whole crew jumps out. We lash some ropes, and we try to pull and heft the Jeep and its trailer out. We were losing ground, and it was slowly kept sinking into the mire when we were noticing an additional tug on the rope, and the Jeep started pulling out of it. And we looked back, and we seen upon a beautiful stallion, helping tug the rope was somebody in bright, beautiful armor, basically the picturesque of, the champion warrior for good. And this guy identified himself as a paladin of the local Fort Bell, and went by the name of
Tillock. He was a paladin of Tyr.
Yeah, paladin of Tyr. And like at the end of the last game, where he kind of mentioned that we should visit the fort and not pass it up. So after getting the Jeep out of the muck, we went up to the fort and partook of the hospitality of the paladins there.
And that was how our game started, our last session with OGGM.
And, I'm Mike.
And I'm Jen.
So if you sat through this, you could at least like and sub.
Yes. So he tells us to go to the fort, and we go. And outside the gates of the fort, there are these two large, they look like robots, for lack of a better word, some sort of metal construct. They have a mechanical feel about them, and they seem to be robots. They don't say anything. They don't do anything, but they let us pass easily into the fort, and it appears to be very desolate and barren, very somber inside. And we tell the robots that we're going to find the quartermaster, we were told his name was Alexander, and they easily enough guide us right to the quartermaster.
And on the way there, we noticed, when we got into the quartermaster's quarters, there's quite a few odds and ends and things mounted on the wall, including a World War II German helmet, which kind of drew our attention. And that was inquired about, and they had said, the quartermaster said that had been taken from some recent prisoners. So that kind of piqued, especially Captain Landis's interest.
Yes. So Alexander agrees to resupply us with anything that we need. And we ask about the local area, and we ask about the prisoners. So we head down to Merrick, who is the captain of the guard or someone who's in charge of the prisoners.
Yeah, and I inquired about some maps as well. Mm-hmm. And what we were kind of told about the area to where we're heading, it was lots of undead.
Yeah, directly to the north was something called the Forest of Hope that was basically now just ruins and full of dead.
Doesn't sound very hope, but...
Right. There were also dinosaurs, swamp monsters, things like that. Basically they were discouraging us from wanting to go north for any reason. And then to the northeast, which is sort of more where we're headed, there's like another big boggy area. And on the map, they showed there were some large trees. And we were told that at one time the Druids had been trying to reclaim the bog. And so had built some outposts, had these big redwood trees that were grown there.
We also asked him about the town and the disappearance.
Mm-hmm. And he told us that Bashir knew more about it. Bashir being, I guess he'd kind of be the engineer of the
he was a
fort.
Dwarf as well.
Yeah. But basically what we were told was that whatever happened here or to the Temple City when the people disappeared happened about 40 years ago, and it was during a war with Orcus, or the armies of Orcus the Deceiver and the Armies of Light. And Bashir would know more about it. So we went to question the prisoners.
Well, to ask permission if we could question them.
Yes.
I think.
Which we did. And we really didn't find much information out from them, except that they, part of the German army, were also driving, trying to resupply at Dunkirk in their Jeep when they drove through a thick fog and also ended up here, and all of a sudden there were paladins. So interestingly enough, the Germans also arrived in a Jeep. So, of course, Captain Landis was interested in that as well.
Mm-hmm. And I think next we went to go talk to the mechanic.
Yeah, we went to talk to Bashir. Mm-hmm. And Bashir felt bad for our old Jeep and did agree to see what he could do to fix it up. And then offered to take us out for drinks and chatting, and that's pretty much how we passed the evening.
Yeah, it was pretty much a strange bar with a skeleton bartender and some other weird things going on. Mm-hmm. But we had drinks.
And he couldn't really tell us anything else about what had happened to this temple city or the village, except that he was part of the Armies of Light. They came in and everyone was just gone. All their belongings left behind, as if they had just disappeared into thin air. And that was really all the information we were able to get as far as what happened. Yeah. So we spent the night here in the fort with Bashir. In the morning, we picked up, apparently our Jeep's named Old Betsy. So we picked up Old Betsy, who had 4 new tires, a full tank of gas, a couple of gas cans full of gas, and all of the supplies that were gladly provided by the Paladins of Fort Bell, as far as food and rations and all of that, to replace what we had lost in the swamp.
Mm-hmm. And so then we headed out. So then, according to the map, we looked like we were heading off to, what was that, the Stoneheart Mountains?
Mm-hmm. And to get there, we would have to go through where the Druids had tried to retake the bog. We thought those trees would be good kind of stopping places along the way.
Yeah, good navigational points.
Mm-hmm. So off we went. We took turns driving.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty uneventful first day until we got to that first tree.
And then we made camp around the area.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of mud.
Noticed some strange creatures.
Yeah, some lizards that seemed to blink and blink out of existence and reappear. So we had those. We decided to camp, take some watches. And I think was it on your watch that the fog came in?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, had some strange effects.
Yeah. So it was a thick fog that lasted about 20 minutes. And when the fog cleared, David noticed that things looked different. Like there was a patch of daisies where there weren't any before.
Yeah.
There was mushrooms all on one side of one of the tents. And there was one of the blink lizards had been apparently flipped inside out. Kind of gross.
And, Captain Landis looked like he was he felt like his face was burning or something.
Sticky.
Mm-hmm. And what had happened is his skin had grown over his eye sockets. So he looked like he didn't have any eyes.
He could still see.
But he could see perfectly.
Yeah.
He just looked
But to
bizarre.
everyone,
yeah,
he looks like he has no eyes. And we had a bunch of birds, that were circling up ahead. This is a big tree, so they had been here. Well, now the birds were all attracted to me and landing on me and around me and making quite the cacophony of noise. So these effects did not seem to be short term because they persisted into the morning. And the following day when we set out to go get as far as we could that day. So as we're driving, Honey is driving. Oh, no. Before we leave, though... Oh.
Go ahead with the...
Before we leave, though, you tried to see if you could help.
Yeah,
Captain Landis.
because we had that magic box that I thought I could conjure some kind of remedy. I reached into it and produced a warthog, which then seemed to dance around with my lion cub familiar, with some strange Disney tune in my head. So,
yes. So that didn't really help Captain Landis at all, but it was amusing to see a lion and warthog dance together. So we take off, we drive. Honey is driving us along, and she has a little trouble with the Jeep, and it jerks to a stop, causing myself and you and the lion to fall out of the Jeep.
yeah.
And we fall off into some mud and muck that appears to be crawling up the side of the Jeep and up me.
As if it was some sort of dark slime entity.
Yes. It's some sort of creepy mud creature. So it's climbing up me. I try to cast Magic Stone to get it off. It doesn't work. It's acid. Some sort of acid creature, and I think Captain Landis shoots something at it or throws something at it.
I think he shot, or then after 44 uses a laser on it, I think then he uses a Molotov cocktail. I think that's what I remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure which order, but 44 eventually kills it, and the creature falls to the ground dead, and that was the end of our
I thought it kind of more like
adventure.
dissolved away, but yeah, kind of slipped off the vehicle.
The mud becomes mud. And that was the end of our adventure. We made it to the second to last tree, I believe.
Yeah, there was a lot of role-playing and investigation, which sometimes, I mean, for what it was, I mean, we were trying to find answers, so it was kind of leading us to that, and
it was kind of fun with some of the character stuff too, with obviously Captain Landis coming from World War II era and finding German soldiers. It was kind of interesting for him and for Honey, the World War
who was a nun
veterans
from that time.
Yeah.
So that's it, and if you want to check out the game, go check out the OGGM's channel. It's every other Sunday, barring real-life things that might occur.
Yeah, if you made it this far, just hit the like button.
Thank you for watching, and please take a moment to like and sub.